How could you do this?
Ma'am, please,
Calm down.
Let her speak.
The knock on the door came just after sunset, sharp, demanding, the kind of knock that carries anger in it. When I opened it, Karen was standing there, chin high, arms crossed. Eyes locked on me like I owed her something. You need to sign the papers, she said. This is HOA property. Nobody lives here without paying dues. Her tone was final, like a judge handing out a sentence. I didn't flinch. We're not joining. This property isn't under your HOA. We're not paying. Her lips curled into a smile that wasn't a smile at all. Everyone pays, everyone obeys, or else. She leaned in, close enough for me to smell her perfume. Sweet, but suffocating. Or else what? I asked. Her eyes narrowed. Then, right in front of me, she pulled out her phone and dialed 911. Double quotes, yes. Officer, she said in a trembling voice that was all theater. There's a dangerous situation. I fear for my safety. Please hurry. My wife's face drained of color. My kids peeked through the curtains, whispering. Karen made sure her voice carried down the street. Neighbors started peeking out too, curious. She hung up and gave me a look of triumph. Now we'll see. Minutes later, the red and blue lights painted the trees and the lake in flashing colors. The cruiser pulled up slow, tires crunching on gravel. The officer stepped out, tall, broad-shouldered, calm. Karen ran to him like a victim in a movie. Thank God you're here. They're refusing HOA orders. They're dangerous. I barely escaped. The officer didn't answer right away. His eyes moved past her, landed on me. Stayed there. And then he froze. His expression changed. Recognition flickered. His lips parted just slightly. He whispered, almost to himself, "It's you." Karen blinked, confused. What? Arrest them. But the officer kept staring. His voice shook. You saved my life. The words hit me like a wave. My wife grabbed my arm. What is he talking about? And then I remembered, years ago. Route 19, a wrecked car upside down, smoke filling the air. A young man trapped inside, seatbelt jammed. I crawled in. Cut him free. Pulled him out just before the flames swallowed the car. That man was him. You made it, I said softly. He nodded, jaw tight. I never forgot your face. Karen's fake tears dried instantly. Her mask slipped. Rage poured out. Officer, don't listen to this nonsense. They're criminals. They're defying the community. You have to, ma'am, the officer cut her off, his voice firm. I know exactly what's going on here. Karen's mouth snapped shut. Karen didn't sleep that night. I knew it because her blinds kept twitching, the glow of her phone screen flashing like a lighthouse. She was plotting. Karen never lost, at least not in her own mind. Inside our house, my wife paced. My kids whispered about the flashing lights they had seen. The way the officer looked at me like I was someone else. Why didn't you ever tell? Me? My wife asked finally. I sighed, because it was nothing. Just something I had to do. A man was trapped and I couldn't leave him there, that's it. But I knew it wasn't nothing. Because that man was now the only shield between us and Karen's wrath. The next morning, the air was crisp, the lake reflecting the pale orange sky. I stepped outside with my coffee, trying to breathe in some peace. That's when I saw her again. Karen, standing on the edge of her porch, watching me. Not blinking, not moving. It wasn't the look of defeat. It was the look of someone sharpening their knives. By noon, the first letter appeared, folded neatly. Stuffed into our mailbox, final notice, HOA compliance. Required, failure to submit dues and acknowledgement will result in fines, liens, and possible eviction. I crumpled it in my fist. This is harassment, I muttered. My wife held my arm. Don't give her what she wants. She wants you angry. She wants you broken. But Karen didn't stop at letters. 2 days later, a man in a suit showed up. Clipboard in hand, fake smile plastered across his face. I'm here on behalf of the Lakeview Association. We're conducting an inspection. I blocked the door. There is no association tied to this property. Get off my land, his smile cracked. Sir, refusal to comply will result in legal escalation. Then escalate, I said, slamming the door. From the window, I saw Karen standing at the edge of the street, arms folded, grinning. That night, the officer came back. No sirens? No lights? Just a knock. Gentle dot. When I opened the door, he wasn't in uniform. Just jeans and a jacket. He looked tired. Can I come in? He asked quietly. I nodded. We sat at the table. He ran his hands over his face like he'd been carrying something heavy. My name's Daniel, he said finally. And you saved me 10 years ago. I was 22, drunk, stupid. That wreck should have killed me. But you dragged me out. I stayed quiet. I became a cop because of that night, he said. Because I wanted to be like you. Someone who runs toward danger, not away. My wife's eyes softened. And now you're here again, he nodded. And I owe you. More than I can ever say. But I also need to warn you, Karen. She's not just some cranky neighbor. She has connections, judges, lawyers, even some officers. She knows how to twist the system. The words settled heavy in the air. She's already filing complaints. He continued, calling in favors. Trying to get your property tied into the HOA retroactively. If she succeeds, it'll ruin you. I clenched my fists. So what do we do? Daniel's eyes hardened. We fight back. But not the way she expects. You've got me now. And I'm not going to let her destroy the man who gave me my life back. For the first time, I saw not just gratitude in his eyes, but fire. Karen had started a war, and she had no idea the man standing against her wasn't just me anymore. The next week was chaos. Karen doubled her efforts. Letters every day, threats, flyers slipped under our door saying things like pay up or pack up. She even staged little scenes on the street pretending to trip on our lawn, screaming about unsafe conditions, calling the city inspector. 1. Afternoon, I came home to find bright orange paint splashed across our mailbox. The words scrawled in dripping letters, HOA or else. My kids cried when they saw it. My wife cleaned it up with shaking hands. That night, I sat on the porch with Daniel. He watched the lake, his jaw tight. She's escalating, he muttered. This is only the beginning. Why us? I asked. Why is she so obsessed? Daniel turned to me slowly. Because people like Karen need control. They feed on it. You're the first one to stand up to her, and she can't stand the idea of losing. She burned everything before she lets that happen. The moonlight shimmered across the water. I felt the weight of his words sink in. Karen wasn't just a neighbor. She was a storm. And the storm was closing in, but I wasn't about to let her take everything from us. Not now. Not ever. The next morning started quiet. Too quiet. The lake shimmered in the sunlight, but something felt wrong. My gut told me Karen was planning something bigger. And I was right. By noon, a tow truck rolled up. The driver stepped out, clipboard in hand. You the owner? He asked. Yes, I said, suspicious. Got an order to impound your vehicle. Unpaid fines, HO violation. My jaw tightened. That's impossible, he shrugged. Paperwork says otherwise. Karen appeared at the edge of her driveway, smirking like a queen watching an execution. I stepped closer to the driver. Touch my truck, and you'll be trespassing. You don't have legal authority here. The man hesitated, glancing between me and Karen. Finally, he muttered, fine, and drove off. Karen's voice floated across the street. You can't stop what's coming. I didn't answer. I just went back inside, but my blood was boiling that evening. Daniel came by again. His eyes scanned the street, sharp, aware. She tried to tow your truck? He asked. She forged paperwork. I said, she's out of control. He nodded grimly. She's testing boundaries. Seeing how far she can push before you break. My wife's voice cracked from the kitchen. We're already breaking. Daniel's gaze softened. Not yet. You've got me, and I'm not letting her win. That night, I couldn't sleep. Every creak in the house felt like footsteps. Every shadow outside looked like her dot around midnight. My dog started barking, loud, fierce. I rushed to the window and froze. There she was, Karen, standing in our yard. In the dark, she wasn't holding papers this time. She wasn't shouting. She was just staring. Her face pale in the moonlight. Her eyes locked on the house. I yanked the door open. Get off my property. She didn't move. didn't blink.